Excellent. All right. So, it benefits everybody. Gives us stability of mind, flexible thinking. Who wants a bit of that? Self-awareness, non-reactivity. So we no longer react. We choose to act or not act. Okay? Can we feel the difference there? A lot of people don't know the difference between reacting and acting. Usually if you're reacting, it's from a place of frustration and it's on the spur of the moment. You haven't thought it through. Okay? Alright, very good. So the history of, a little bit of history about mindfulness is that in 1930, it's been documented that Freud wrote some letters to friends about this Buddhist philosophy, because mindfulness comes from Buddhist mindful meditation. Okay? And in 1930, he was writing some letters to friends about Buddhist philosophy, and he said it seemed to be alien to him and beyond his nature. So he thought, well, there's nothing to that. However, in 1939, Carl Jung did a commentary on the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and he had a lifelong fascination with Buddhist psychology. Okay. In the 1960s, flower power was going off. Everybody wanted to learn how to be enlightened and live an enlightened life and improve their life and to meditate. And that was because the Beatles and other famous pilgrims were coming back from India with all these great ideas.
Plus LSD.
Pardon?
Plus LSD.
Yeah, plus LSD. Well, that helped at the time to become more mindful. However, that would be a present experience. A bit of awareness might not be there, and acceptance, well, there was a lot of free love, so acceptance might have been going on. So that was happening in the 60s, and also in I think it was 1963, yoga came to America, started an evolution in America. And yoga basically is mindfulness with movement. Okay? And then there was a few clinicians that started to get a bit interested in this. And by 1995, Mark Epstein wrote a book on thoughts. Thoughts are not the thinker, I think it's called. And thoughts without the thinker, sorry. And that was it. All clinicians and a lot of people that were in psychotherapy wanted to pick up on this idea. In 1997, who I believe is an absolute leader in this field, John Kabat-Zinn, he opened the Mindfulness Centre in the University of Massachusetts Medical Centre, and he has been going great guns since then. And he began with patients that nobody else could treat. Okay, so they've been going to a lot of people, say for depression, chronic illness, and so they ended up going to him, and he was getting fabulous results. So over the last about 20 years, they started doing a lot of research and scientific studies into mindfulness, and the results are amazing and very, very promising. And a lot of people in my industry are using mindfulness now in the therapies that they use because they are so effective. Okay? So that's a little bit about where it came from. And what they've found when they set up the Mindfulness Centre is they started to find out that it was all about mindfulness promoted an integrated brain or proper brain functioning. And so it was about being able to have that full brain functioning of left and right brain. Because a lot of the time when we're under stress and we're frustrated and we're going through all our stuff, we will go into what's called default or narrative thinking. Okay? And that's usually... we don't make very good decisions, we're quite impulsive, we're very short-sighted, and then we're not using our whole brain. So without using our whole brain, our whole body isn't working either. Okay? That's why a lot of people get really stuck where they're at. They can't think their way out of something because they're only using a very small part of their brain, a very primitive part of their brain. And that primitive part is only built to eat, run away or fight. And possibly fit a family in there somewhere. Okay? We're not like that anymore, are we? We have a lot more stresses, a lot more going on, a lot more things we've learned. We know a lot more. There's a lot more education. Does that make sense? Yeah? So by having an integrated or proper functioning brain, it changes your relationship with life. Look at that. Who wants all that? Okay? So as we were saying before, resilience, stability. Okay, so that comes with certainty. One of the things we need as much as food and water, okay, is there's actually 5 things. We need to know what our status is in our life. Who are we? What are we worth? Okay? We also need certainty. We also need autonomy, so that means control in our own lives. That mindfulness brings that. We also need good relationships happening in our life. And we also need to feel that life is fair. If you are not mindful, you will not feel that. Okay? And there is a huge body of research that supports that we need all those things as well as food and water. Otherwise we will die or we live a very, very empty life. Yes? Okay? So it improves insight, flexibility, empathy, morality, calmness. Most of the things we've talked about, emotional balance, which is really good, like our emotions actually don't get away from us because we observe them in that moment and we allow them to be there. Mindfulness isn't about having challenges and not getting upset and everything else. It's about giving yourself permission to have those and then you deal with them. Not they're in charge of you. Because let me tell you right now, you might think you're a sum of your thoughts and you might think that you're a sum of your emotions, but you're actually not. You're you with thoughts and with emotions. Yes? Okay. Alright, so the benefits. Reduce stress. You can concentrate. Remember names, of course. Okay? And you start to get rid of that negative stuff happening. Okay, so is everyone with me on that?